Riders ready, watch the gate.
Welcome to Santiago del Estero, Argentina for stop number 4 of the UCI BMX Supercross World Cup Tour. I'm Pete Dylewski. Today we're bringing you live action here. We're an elite women's practice. We went through the elite men's group A and B, and we're here in Argentina. An incredible day, great weather, and an awesome track. So we have a lot of things going on this weekend, as you know. Typical schedule, and we'll run that schedule for you with qualifying racing going on tomorrow for the unqualified riders. Then we'll move on to those pre-qualified riders and those time trials for the super final for the elite men and the elite women. And then when we get to things on Sunday, we'll have all that race action for you. 8 riders at a time go through their qualifying motos, and then we move on to those single elimination racing where those riders will just be going for top 4, trying to move on through those 8s, quarters, semifinals, and making their way into the main event for Sunday afternoon. But as we always do, we'll get a word in here with the organizer of this great World Cup tour, Johan Lindstrom. He's out here making sure everything runs smoothly for all of us. But right now we'll get Johan to put a halt onto his previous activities and give us some updates on what's going on here in Argentina. Welcome, Johan.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so we're at Argentina for the 3rd time, a little bit different track, but almost the same track. Tell us what's going on here.
Yeah, we're here for the 3rd time, as you were saying. Actually, what happened earlier this year, they had a big flooding in this area. So this whole track was underwater, and a lot of these obstacles got basically carried off with the water. So the track kind of got totally rebuilt, even though it looks the same. It's quite different. So it got some new turns and obviously some different obstacles and such. So, but it's good. It's really good.
So this track here in Santiago, big hill, big first jump, but then the rest of it's a little bit more tamed down and a pure racer's track. So it's great to see those different types of tracks built by GSX and as well as on this World Cup tour.
Yeah, and obviously the Elite Tracks crew has done a great job, and yeah, as you say, it's that's what the World Cup is all about. It's just mixing up things and having different types of tracks, and whoever becomes the World Cup champion is the one that can manage indoor, outdoor, big tracks, smaller tracks, and all of the above. So no, I kind of like this different kind of categories.
So Santiago is known for an incredible crowd, great fans, and the atmosphere that they bring us here in South America.
Yeah, no, it's always a blast coming here because obviously now we've been here a few years, so a lot of people are totally into BMX, and I talked to some of the riders, and they're getting recognized in the grocery stores and want autographs and things like that. So they definitely feel like the superstars they are here. So it's cool.
So at the second to last stop of the season, want to jump ahead, but after this stop, we got a couple-week break, and then we move on to the finals for the first time in Rock Hill in South Carolina, United States. What should we look forward to at these next 2 events, Johan?
Well, I think there's going to be some tight racing. I mean, we had a couple of different leaders in the World Cup Tour already, and maybe it's going to change up after this event too, but it's going to be a tight point chase all the way up to the end. So I'm hoping that we're going into Rock Hill with kind of tied in points up there, so we get some exciting racing and see who's going to be crowned the champ. And definitely some hot action to be seen.
Well, it's definitely been a great season. We're really happy for the sun to be out, the wind to be away, and so once again, you guys are putting on an excellent race. Thanks so much for your time today.
All right, thanks, Pete, and I'll see you later in the main event, I guess, on BMX Live TV.
All right, so there's Johan. And we get a lot of riders, usually with the elite men's practice kind of winding down, but This time, the women's practice is just like 25, 30 minutes in. So we thought who better to bring in to give us a bird-eye perspective of this track than Social B, Barry Nobles. Always sleeveless, but he's always sleeved and gun at the gun show. So Barry,
I want to be on this side.
So Barry, you kind of came out here the other day, did a little bit of a rebel run on our GoPro lap. We're going to show it to the fans. So just kind of tell us, how that all came about.
Tommy and I have been here for like 3 days. Well, the rebel run was, to be honest, you look at it, we wanted to look like a rebel run, but obviously we got the inside scoop out here and we put it all together. But we just want to make it more of a fun lap. And we always look at the same track. You see a view out of someone's helmet, and we just wanted to give it more of a perspective and seeing how just a little more aspect to it instead of just riding around your normal BMX track, make it a little more fun. But yeah, it ended up great. This track is one of the best ones on the circuit. It's not the biggest, definitely, but it has its technical sides to it. It's a flat level track. It doesn't drop downhill like some of them out there, but everything might be a little average size than normal. But everything's like there's rollers put in, there's steeper lips. It makes it a little more technical than normal.
Yeah, so that's what we've got a lot of response about how important that the first straightaway is going to be here essentially too. It's especially trying to get those good qualifying laps in to get that inside gate each and every time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's another track with a split first straightaway, the Supercross hill on the outside. So lane one really drifts out to the inside. So if you're on the inside, you have more room just to keep cutting over, even if you get cut off. But I'm pretty sure here they put the airbags up there, so I don't know if they're going to put it on the triple or not, but it kind of keeps guys out, so you can't really drift over until the triple. But, it's a high-speed first straightaway. The first jump here is a step up, which we're normally pushing through as hard as we can just to catch backside. We're going so fast. All these jumps could be so much bigger, but we're constantly pushing down as low as we can get. And here you actually have to relax and give it a little lift, but it's hard because it's super easy to give it too much push and come up short, and it's super easy to jump it high and land low. So you really got to kind of find a happy medium, and it's a full out sprint all the way. And we're manualing the triple into the first turn, which is different than most. Normally we're floating a big triple, and now we're manualing, keeping it low, and you're hauling ass into that first turn.
That sounds like a lot of work, but as you saw in the GoPro video, you also have a lot of fun out here. You came out, you did a backflip on one of the bigger jumps on the track, but it's always good to see. You're out here for a World Cup. You're out here to, get into that main event, get on the podium, but at the same time, you're able to come out here, ride, and have fun, and that's what it's all about.
Oh, absolutely. I thrive off the energy. We live the dream out here riding bikes, traveling around the world. So if I go to a race and I'm out here just doing gates and it's work, we're always putting in the work, but we're living the dream. We need to have fun at the same time, The vibe here and the energy from the crowd is unreal as it is, just seeing them. So, I'll go out there and throw a flip and get my adrenaline pumping, and then you get the vibe from the crowd. It just makes the whole event that much better. Everyone just kind of rises up that little more level because it's just, you want to impress the fans, and all the fans out here are pumped to see everyone ride bikes, and yeah, it's good. It couldn't ask for a better event than this one.
Yeah, you've been here before, but talk, about what the atmosphere is like here, first in the city of Santiago del Estero, and then as well as here at the track once we get, you've already experienced it once, but what it's like when we'll get to racing on tomorrow.
It's quite a mission to get down here. So, everyone kind of complains about that when on the way, but it's so worth it. Once you get here, the town, it's a super small town. Everyone is super nice. Some people have different outlooks on it, but it's a rad town. Everyone just in the streets are nice. They see you're on BMX bikes. They know what you're here for. They're all yelling and pumped, and they want to come out here and watch this race. And just to get here, to have this facility in this town, being here in person, and I'm constantly Snapchatting videos to see how the outskirts of this area is. So seeing a track this nice in this town is pretty amazing to see. They put a lot of money into it, and I look forward to this race every year, and I think everyone else does.
And then once we get to the race day, we have a bunch of stands behind us, all around the track, and they're full, maximum capacity. And they're huge fans for BMX. Of course, they're fans for the riders from South America, but for the bigger named riders such as yourself, they just go crazy when you're out there on the track.
Oh, absolutely. We have our normal races around the world, Papendal, Manchester, USA. We always have a good vibe, but it's, from the level of fans we have around the world, and you come here, I mean, it's like a Bieber concert. I mean, I think the first year here we had police escorts out of the tent area because it was just so out of hand. The people were coming in, and you just feel like a superstar here, and you thrive off that energy, you know. I mean, that same energy is going through practice day, through qualifying day, and then race day is just unreal. So just to have that feel, it feels like you're a movie star coming out of a premiere, and everybody just wants photos, and yeah, it's pretty amazing feeling.
Yeah, well, Barry, you know, he's a little bit of a humble guy, but he is one of the biggest stars in BMX. You know, you're all following him. But if you're not, Barry, those guys, they're missing a lot about you on Snapchat and Instagram, so let them know how they can reach out and, you know, travel with you virtually around the world.
Yeah, at Barry Nobles 95. That's Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I mean, I'm usually pretty busy on all that. I push for the social media world pretty heavily. It's just important as putting out results, and sometimes I don't get the results, but at the end of the day, you're going to see my face in front of something, whether it's your phone or your computer. I mean, like I said, we're living the dream, so I'm going to make the most out of all these trips. So everybody following me on all the social media, you're going to feel like you're right there with me at Barry Nobles 95.
Yeah, so it's great to have Barry with us today. You know, Barry joined us. Barry joined us in Manchester. Fortunately, you had a crash there. And, you know, we don't want to see that happen again, but we definitely love having you hanging with us, so we're so glad that you're here today. So Barry's job, I'm going to put Barry to work today. His job is going to he's going to help me find a few riders so we can do some interviews. And I'm actually going to let Barry take over the show for 1 minute, and I'm going to find someone because everybody wants to hear about what Barry has to say. So I'm going to give Barry a few moments to do whatever he wants to do. Good luck with that, and I'll be right back.
Cool, sounds good. So we're going straight into it?
Yeah.
We're good to go, all right. First time holding this mic. Well, we're going to pull a girl off the track and see, I don't know, let's start off on the second straightaway. I mean, we got a different jump here. It's not like normal. You look at it and it's pretty basic. You have two rollers at a glance. It's two rollers and a step up, but it's a completely different line. We're seeing girls take different lines through it, and you're seeing some girls hit it no problem. You're seeing some girls smash it through. So maybe let's ask some girls and see what their thought is on it. You got to grab a girl.
All right, Barry did a horrible job of finding anyone, so I went out and got Herman Medina. I love to call him German. I don't. You can how is it? We're in your continent, South America, racing. Tell us what it's like first in English for your English fans, and then you know, tell us in Spanish for all the Spanish-speaking fans.
Well, first of all, I don't have any fans. That's for the riders. And well, to race here, it's really nice because obviously we feel more at home, but as well the people looks more excited to have all these riders here. Well, when you go to other places, maybe they are, I don't know if it's the culture or something, but they are like more, I don't know, like not so happy, let's say something like that. But here people really gets crazy about seeing these riders, boys and girls, so that's good.
So we're going to ask you that same question in Spanish for all our Spanish-speaking fans, and you definitely have a lot of fans German.
De nuevo, no, realmente es muy agradable estar corriendo acá en Sudamérica. Es un continente donde la gente es más calurosa, se siente mucho más el calor humano y sobre todo la gente se emociona más por ver a los corredores que son sus ídolos, que cuando vamos a otras partes de pronto es más tradicional verlos, la gente está más acostumbrada, pero acá todo el mundo vibra más con ver a todos estos deportistas acá compitiendo.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, German. I know you're working now. Thanks so much for stopping by, giving us a little bit of insight on what it's like to be out here at the World Cup.
In English or Spanish?
English.
It's good, you know. Every race it's different track, different environment. So we're always happy and we're all passionate about what we do. So always excited about the races, and we still feel butterflies when the riders are on the hill.
And you get to work with one of the world's best racers, who I've dubbed the Queen of BMX, Mariana Pajon. Tell everyone it's like to be around her, and just what it's like to be working with her around all this, making her dream happen.
Well, to work with her is just pretty amazing because she is such a nice person, not just a talented rider, but so down to earth as well as discipline. So it's really easy to deal with her to say something, but she is really committed to what she does, and obviously she is putting all the effort that she can, and is really devoted to fulfill all her expectations and goals and dreams.
Well, again, from myself being a fan and all the fans out there, thank you so much for all you do for the sport of BMX. We appreciate it.
I do what I like to do, so thank you for the words.
Okay.
Kind words.
Anytime.
Thank you.
So thank you. So next up, we have practice going on, but we have some riders that sometimes they're so good they don't need the whole time of practice. And one of those riders is our winner from the last stop in Sweden, Elise Post. Elise, thanks for giving us a few moments of your time.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I don't need the whole practice. I just need a little break here and there, so it's all right.
So this track here, it's a little bit different. So talk from your perspective how the track rides and how and how it is for you so far here today.
Yeah, track's super smooth, surface is great, and obviously the weather's great, so it's awesome. Yeah, they've made a few changes. It's a little bit more tech than it was last year. Everything's a little bit deeper, and they added a little bit, another jump in here, so definitely different, but it's riding really fast, and the turns are good. They add a little bit on the turns, and yeah, for us, the asphalt's really nice. You can carve them good, and yeah, the whole track's nice.
So after Sweden, you got that beautiful red plate. It indicates the leader of our series. So congratulations on the win. Congratulations on taking over the lead of the series. How do you move forward and keep that red plate for the rest of the season?
Well, obviously it's a really tight battle this year. Everybody's riding well, and you have to stay consistent and up front on those podiums. Obviously top 2, 3, you want to be there. Obviously on top's the best. But it's going to take good laps and using this practice time to get it dialed in. And yeah, hopefully more of what happened last weekend, just staying headstrong and respecting the competition and trying to get the most out of it.
And our last question is, the atmosphere here is pretty incredible, but talk about the experience of coming down to Argentina and then racing in front of these great fans that we have.
Yeah, I love being down here. Obviously, it's very different to what we have back home, and the fans are very passionate, and I enjoy that. All the South American people in general, they love BMX, and it's really nice to come somewhere and just have it feel like this is like an event of the year for them, and they definitely make you feel wanted and make you want to do good for them, so hopefully it's a good show.
Well, thanks so much. Good luck with your rest of your practice, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
So that was Elise Post, our current leader. We interviewed her. You'll see that coming up on the Lane 1 show. It'll be out a couple of weeks after the event here. But that is, we had all the live racing for tomorrow and then on Sunday for those main events. So should be some interesting stuff. So right now we have a little break in the practice. We have a rider that is down. So sometimes we give you kind of like a pan around of this track, of this beautiful second and third straightaway over here. This straightaway over here. So you can see we have a really big second straightaway section to where the track splits. And as I said, the track had been flooded, so they kind of rebuilt most of the track. And right now the track's been built up a little bit. And it's interesting to see how things go this weekend with these riders on the track. But as Barry alluded to before, the track's definitely good, big, built up, rebuilt up, so it's really good. So I can see Barry's back, empty-handed, so he's kind of useless. So maybe we can just see if he could do some more flips for us. But so Barry, we'll kill some more time. I mean, bring it in. No.
I was ready to do that one, but it's all good.
So yeah, so practice. So what were your? I mean, when you're practicing, kind of let's talk about how you plan one of these tracks when you come out, because they are pretty different. Not a lot of Supercross tracks. You get to ride on one. But how do you come out to this track and dissect it during the practice?
Well, I mean, if you compare to what we ride on back home in Chula Vista, our track is one of the biggest ones on the series to ride. I mean, it's not on the series, but one of the biggest Supercross tracks to ride. And every track is so much different. This one being flat, a lot of things are smaller, but not smaller as in, just length. I mean, you're not going as fast as the downhill sections. You're not coming out of the turns with so much exit speed, so they have to shorten them up. So you get used to being full speed out at Chula Vista or something, and you're fully tapped out on a downhill section. Then you come out here, and we're all fast sprinters, but you have to learn to suck up jumps a little different. They're a little shorter, and they're built for the speed, but sometimes you have so much different. You have, like, this is such a local level track. The guys in this area aren't going to be quite as fast as those top main event guys all the time, so the track needs to be a little shorter in sections, and so you get those top 8 guys that come out here that are that are a bit faster out of the exits, and you see them like overshooting and making little mistakes. But I mean, I like to just come out here and start those first couple laps just fun. I mean, it takes 20 minutes before they start running that gate, and I just start riding and have fun and just float around. I never really hit anything with too much gas first off, and just get the track, just lip to landing, keeping it basic, and then and that's when it's time to start turning it up a few gears and start hitting stuff faster and learning how low you can hit stuff, because especially when it starts, everybody crowds up on the triple end of the first turn, and we just sprint around the turn, but that's not near as much speed as when you come off the hill and you roll in with speed, so you already have the entrance speed, and then their exit speed's even faster. So it kind of changes a bit from when you're just riding around, sprinting through the turn, and then doing gates, and that race aspect starts to come into play.
And then what's the biggest difference between the actual practice time and then when you get in the gate? I mean, I know obviously you're not racing each and every lap of practice, but how do you practice is trying to emulate what you're going to do in the race, but how do you re-simulate that when you're on the track kind of by yourself?
I mean, I'm sure everybody's different. I mean, I do my own thing. I don't really know what the others do, but I usually take mine. First day is just ride day. I hit everything with speed, but I'm not out here doing I don't do many half laps, maybe a couple, but usually on race day I usually end it with one full lap, so I know what the track feels like from the gate to the finish line, so that I usually save that till day 2. I'm getting older, so I have that. It takes me a little longer to recover nowadays. So I keep the first day fun, hit everything at speed that I know I'm going to hit it come racing. I never really link everything together until race day, which like tomorrow being qualifying day, so that's not the main race day, but it's just enough to get out there and knock a few full laps out, 3/4 laps, and just know what every jump feels like at race pace, out of turns. I mean, as soon as racing starts, I mean, we all have a little adrenaline pump, and you're always going a little quicker, and it really takes that kind of mindset to know. And it's just like practice, so don't come in so much hotter where you're overshooting jumps or making those little mistakes, I mean, you should be out here putting in the practice laps just like the race laps, and you should just be prepared come racing and know. But, I mean, once that adrenaline starts pumping, you're going a little quicker, and that's when mistakes are made.
So we'll move on to a little bit. So while we're doing this during the elite women's practice, let's talk about the progression of the women's side of things. I think you're a good expert analyzer for the elite women's class. You're friendly with one of the top women in BMX. But let's talk about how far the women have progressed in BMX in such a short time.
Oh, I mean, even when Sweden was the last World Cup, and we all went down to the Copenhagen track and rode, and we had world championships there in 2011, I believe it was. And I mean, just in those couple years, we haven't been back there since, but maybe 20-30 minutes into the session, we had 4 girls hitting the second straightaway guy side, which is super rad to see, because 2011, a few of them could have done it, but they wouldn't have done it back then, and now the progression is just pushed so much. I mean, they constantly have to rise up, and sometimes it's unfortunate when it's a track like this. The track is great, but this track obviously has its amateur side as well, so the girls can't fully show the talent they actually have progressed to nowadays. I mean, this section that I was talking about earlier is pretty technical. I'm seeing girls take different lines. Some girls are messing up, some are hitting it just fine, but so good thing they're like that. I mean, these girls are down to hit big stuff nowadays, and I mean, there's so many girls that don't think twice about sitting in the triples that used to be big for us, and now you have girls winning main events, jumping triples over the girls who just double in. And so, I mean, seeing it, I would love to see a track that really gave the girls that level to really push herself. I mean, hopefully something soon, because I mean, the Copenhagen track, second straightaway guy side, it's not small, it's not as big as most, but I mean, it's bigger in here, and they hit it. I mean, they were doing four in a row through it and hitting it no problem. I think 2 or 3 efforts, and they were doing the whole pro set, which is super rad to see. I mean, I try to push progression in the sport. I love BMX, so I'm going to try to push anyone I have like an influence with, like if I'm riding with someone, if it's just kids at the track, I'm always going to try to push someone, not because I'm pushing I want to see people get hurt, but I just want to see everyone grow as riders. And if it's pushing the girls or pushing the young kids, I mean, luckily Caroline's down to send it sometimes. I can take her to the trails, and it helps her progression, but all these girls are stepping it up. And when you see 4 girls going through a guys pro set, there was a world championship track just a couple years ago. I mean, I think that's a sign that we need to step it up for the girls, but it's all going in the right direction, and yeah, maybe we'll see everything stretching out and a little taller sooner or later.
That's a lot. That's a lot to take in. So, and maybe the last question about that is, how do you want to push progression? And I know in the past there's been some kind of some like backlash about the Supercross tracks being pushed too far. So how do you kind of like meet that happy median of making tracks better, but not too much more difficult? At the same point, holding people back and not letting them progress.
Well, one of the biggest things are, obviously, I'm pretty outspoken about when I feel stuff needs to be changed, and when the sports might be going in a different or wrong direction in some cases. But people immediately think, oh, if it's taller, if it's bigger, the kids can't ride it. At the end of the day, it's still a racetrack. We don't need dirt jump lips. The lips don't have to be big. We're elite athletes. We can sprint and we can pull up. We can still get over the jump. So I think if jumps are made, they don't have to have those big lips. They can be mellow lips and still send us high. If we're clearing 40 to 50 feet, it can be a mellow lip, but we're still going to get some hype out of it and still look good for the fans. And I think it's a fine line of making a big jump, but still making it safe. It doesn't need to have big lips on them. Things can be mellowed out and real rolled over for kids. And I think there's plenty of ways to kind of mix it up where it's great for the elites and it works just great for the cruiser dads or the little first-time kids. There's tracks all over the world. All tracks are made so much different, and I've been to some tracks. I'm like, damn, this is like kind of technical to ride for the elites, and the kids don't even have a problem in it because that's just what they know. So I think it's pretty much about when it goes from if you grow up on a really basic track and then you get thrown into this big track, that's when people get hurt. But I think things can be made super safe. We can easily jump 50-foot jumps. They don't have to be big kicks. That can be mellow lip, mellow landing. We're hauling ass to a 50-foot jump, so you're going to make the distance. It's going to be safer. It's mellow lip. It's not kicking people a weird way. You see it, and you kind of know it's a safe one, and you just got to get ready to send it. But know the jump's built properly. It's not built with a weird lip on it or it's going to kick me weird. Like, I know I have the speed. It always takes that first person. That first time somebody hits that 50-foot jump or something, it's like, okay, well, I know it can be done, and it could be a mid-pack guy like myself. I've been a mid-pack guy all season, and we can still hit the big jump. So that's what it takes sometimes. It doesn't always have to be the fastest guy out there because there's always somebody a little quicker, and it's possible. You just have to see it done, and that's what pushes that progression. You just see, okay, that's a big-ass jump, but he's hitting it, so we all can hit it.
Right. All right. Well, that's a lot to take in. And I'm sure you're tired because you talk a lot more than me. But it's great insight, and we thank you so much, Barry. So maybe we'll see Barry. Hopefully we don't see Barry for the rest of the weekend, but we'll see him out there on the track. But that's pretty much a wrap here for the Dance Comp live preview show. Maybe we'll give you a little bit of look at the winding down practice here for the elite women. But yeah, tune in tomorrow. We're going to have those qualification races, the super final time trials in the evening, and then on Sunday we'll have all that single elimination racing, every moto here live on BMX Live TV. Thanks for tuning in here from Santiago del Estero for myself and Barry Nobles. Thanks so much.
I figured I would just get it all out if we